The majority of girls in their 20s don't want a guy like me. And that's because when we're in our 20s, we're told to party, to play the field, to just have fun, not look for anything long term, just see where life takes us. And I'm not judging on people who follow this philosophy, which is most people, because life is hard. It is difficult. We're not given any instruction manuals on what we're meant to do with our very existence. And it's scary. And what tends to happen is that people go through their 20s just full of instant gratification. And when they get to their 30s, they realize they have to be an adult now. And that's when things like marriage comes in, kids come in, and that's when girls look for a guy who can provide that, who can be the disciplined man. And even my own father said to me, he said, "Boy, do not get married until you are 30. Enjoy your life, have a girlfriend, but just enjoy yourself." But I'm not wired up that way. I'm 20 years old, and I've never been interested in hookup culture. I've considered it a few times, but I probably would not be able to escape. I'm definitely a very all or nothing kind of person. Yeah, hookup culture, although I might be able to develop my social skills, become more charismatic, have some experiences, that's not worth giving your soul up for. Doesn't sound it to me anyway. And I am ahead of a lot of guys my age. I've got a great foundation for the next 10 years of my life, financially, physically, spiritually, maybe not mentally. We're still working on that. It's always a struggle. Yeah, I have FOMO, the fear of missing out sometimes, because I didn't choose to go to university. When you turn 18 in the UK, you can choose to go to university. And I took a gap year with my parents thinking that I would go to university. And I never did. And I'm 20 years old now, and there's a little bit of regret there, because if I went to uni, I would have more friends, interact with more people, and would probably be in a relationship right now. Would probably have a girl to spend my days with, talk to deeply about topics we enjoy. But I didn't want to take that path. As sweet as it sounds, as tempting as it was, I wanted to take the path less travelled. And that made all the difference. I was forced to gain a different level of maturity. I was forced to become an adult when most people in their early 20s are still children, basically. We're still figuring things out. The world is a scary place, and if we can stay in education as long as possible, have that familiarity from when we were a kid, just being in the school system, that makes us feel very comfortable. I didn't have that. At 18, I had to become a man. Working jobs, I was still an arrogant prick, don't get me wrong. Very, very childish. I had to learn. There was no choice. I soon learned that no, I can't be a child for this long. I have to become a man. And in terms of love, if I'm being truly honest with myself, I'm not ready. I'm 20 years old, my brain's still developing, and I do not have the time to sacrifice for a relationship. Well, I could, but it would be at the detriment of my goals. My time would be halved. I'd still, of course, go to the gym. I'd still, of course, read books, develop myself, but this pursuit of YouTube, this dream, this goal that I have, I'd have to take that away in order to sustain a relationship. Otherwise, it would just end. And that's hard, man, because if I'm being totally honest, there's a saying which is like, put a man in love and he'll forget about his goals, and I think I'm one of those men. If I fell in love tomorrow, maybe I'd just forget about YouTube. I'd just be happy with my life as it is. I want to say it's a scary thought, but I don't know. It's a hard one. It really is. So what does that mean for you, bro? What's the right thing to do? I'd say it's situational. Let's say you've got a girl right now, and she makes you a better man, and supports your goals, then keep her, bro. She is 1 in a million, truly. If she's supporting you in your goals, and is your cheerleader in everything you do, as you are for her as well, you facilitate and cultivate each other's growth. Stick together, bro. That is beautiful. I wish you the best. And if you've got a girl who isn't like that, shall we say, is all about fun and doesn't support the vision that you have, let's just say you've got some evaluating to do. I'll leave that to you, bro. It's going to be hard, but you're going to make the tough calls sometimes. And if you're like me, and for the longest time you've not had a girl, ask yourself, have I reached my potential? This is what I keep asking myself. Am I where I want to be? Because I feel that if I got into a relationship, as I mentioned, it would stop the progress. And I am nowhere near done. I am nowhere near my dream, my vision, my goals. To be comfortable now and to take a rest now when the race has barely even begun. What an absolute waste that would be. I can't do that to myself. I promised my past self that I was going to do this. So decide for yourself, bro. What's it going to be? A relationship? Or achieving your dream? And then by all means have the relationship after that. But the loneliness does kick in. I promise you, bro. And I'm just soldiering through. Keeping these videos. Getting my message out there. Trying to make something of myself. And if that girl is out there somewhere, I wish her the best. I hope that she is growing spiritually, loving God, and waiting for me to become the leader that I'm supposed to be. For I need to learn to lead myself before I can be a leader in a relationship. So take care, boys. We've got this.